the Dare to Share challenge. Oh my gosh, today we have an amazing guest for you, Nisanthi. Nishanthi, please do say hello to everyone.
Hello, beautiful souls.
I am so excited for this because Nishanthi has asked me not to tell her what is happening. She's just going to channel, so let's see what happens. Now, before we dive in, I do need to ask you which level of vulnerability you're going to opt for. So let me explain. We have the stretchy level, which is something that you've overcome in your past. It's your hero's journey. It's the rags to riches. It's something that you've been through and you've come out the other side. And that is a tale that needs to be told. Or we have the extreme level. And the extreme is something that you're navigating in real time. It's something that you're experiencing behind the scenes that you would not normally share, but this is the Dare to Share show. So which level are you going to opt for today?
For real life, right now.
She's going extreme. She's going extreme. I love this because the courage and the bravery that the extreme takes is just out of this world. So let's do it. Okay, let's dive in, shall we?
Yay!
Okay, first question for you, Nishanthi, is what does being a real and a raw leader mean to you? And I don't just mean in business, right? We're talking behind the scenes in everyday life as a woman, as a human, as an individual in your own right. That realness and that rawness, how does that look to you in your life? And what does it really mean to you?
That's such a beautiful question to ask. And it really means that in your daily life as well, you hold yourself completely accountable for all your creations. Even if your creations are not what you desire them to be, you just navigate and you hold that vision and you hold the vision beyond the vision and you keep going and you keep like pouring love into it and you keep going. And it's also not shying away. I love to play in the shadow realms, like I call it the underworlds, to not shy away from it, but also not lose yourself in it. To find that really, I call it playing with energy, that play with energy, navigating, like really feeling life, really tasting life, and then just moving. And sometimes you move like in that inner pace, right? And sometimes you have to speed up, but it's just honoring the flow of life in your body and your soul and living it, truly living it. And for such a long time, I didn't, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as you then journey and journey, then you see like, fuck, I'm living it.
Yeah. I love that so much. How many of you can relate where you're so focused on the next goal or the next achievement or the next thing that's going to make you finally feel happy or successful or fulfilled, and you're missing life right now? I know I did that for so long because you're so focused on when I hit this, when I get this, when I achieve this milestone, then I'll feel happy, then I'll get to live, right?
Yes, yes.
And it never happens.
Yeah, and what I started to notice, and this is something I'm deeply navigating in the past couple of days, specifically.
Oh, you're not going into the share yet, are you?
Sorry?
Don't go into the share yet.
Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, I kept myself in that trauma and victim loop still in certain aspects of life for such a long time. Like, what the fuck was I doing? And it's like you seeing it, and then another layer is revealed, right? And right now, I think I'm going through kind of a grieving process of really like letting go of that sadness and grief that I kept myself for such a long time. And I didn't even see it because it's kind of what you're used to.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm right now holding my human in, yet in another layer of like, okay, thank you for showing me. Okay, thank you, feeling the feels, and then, oh, so what's next? And then again, and this is what we constantly doing, right? We sometimes literally hear, and then we need to play again. And like for me, in the past couple of weeks, I've been playing so much in the field, in person, like quantum alchemy experiences, that I saw that I was such a different person when I was sitting in sacred circle, or sometimes owning your stage, like depending on the energy, right? Than how I was, for example, showing up online. So I started to see that difference where that was not fully like authentic yet, that I was so much more comfortable just in real life and how I was living life. But through that small black box, it was almost like, this is too much. How am I ever like, and that's only like because of the realness behind it. And that's how I started a couple of years back when I shared my childhood trauma. And then I lost that edge because I started to play in grids where I placed myself in, because that was what my soul was longing for at the time. And it was very beautiful and very galactic and amazing. But I also was receiving, in my perception, how it landed in my body, like, oh, we cannot speak about the mundane stuff because that's not of the light. That's not like, no, we need to like code in certain ways. And I was sitting there and was like, but that I was like, and because of that, I was holding back my shit whilst I was previously like, boom. And now I left those grids consciously. I started leaving those grids very consciously in different ways since a couple of months ago. And now I really see like how I lost myself.
Yeah.
Edge by also like listening to too many voices, even sometimes unconsciously we do this, right?
Oh yeah.
Because it's like also it's training that muscle, like, okay, how much do you believe in yourself? How much you know what the fuck you're doing here? How much are you holding yourself through all the judgment from the world, sometimes from loved ones, you name it, and just being with it. And I feel that's the journey, what we are constantly taking, but it's each time a different theme, it's different topic. Sometimes it's something like this. Sometimes it's like money. For me, money is like a massive teacher. And sometimes it's relationships. And this is all playing with energy.
Yeah, I love this so much. How many of you guys watching can relate to what Nishanthi is saying is you get lost in all of the noise, right? Everyone around you, online, offline, in the real world, on the online world, and you start to lose your own voice. You start to lose your own message and your own edge. Like you said, it's like, what am I here to do? And this is when you have to come back to that realness and that rawness and really dive into your inner truth and tapping into your soul and your purpose and your mission and your movement and saying, no, that might be your path, but my path is different and that's okay. But it takes courage and it takes stepping out of that box to allow that to flow. Beautiful. Okay, so let's dive into the big question, shall we? I know you're preparing. Okay, so Nishanthi, today, actually, let me set the precipice. So for you guys watching, if you have not watched Dare to Share before, and you're wondering what the hell you've stumbled across, this is where leaders come to the stage and they quite literally dare to share their truth, their story, their vulnerability, things that they're navigating in real time. Why do we do this? Because as part of a Real and a Raw Leaders movement, we are here to showcase the human behind the perception. We are here to show you all that we're no different. The only differentiator is how we lead ourselves. And the more leaders that take to this stage and share their truth and their vulnerability and get uncomfortable in front of the world, the more we empower everyone watching, everyone looking up to us as we lead ourselves to say, wow, they're not actually that different from me. If they can do it, I can do it too. And that's what it's all about. So with that being said, Nishanthi, what are you willing to dare to share with us all today?
Again, such a beautiful question. So what I'm feeling to share is a level of navigating financial abundance and it's being there and it's allowing to flow and navigating these ebbs and flows and still holding yourself in that belief like, okay, but I'm here for my mission, and my mission is bigger than my human shit sometimes. And sometimes we'll receive judgment, and you're like, I've been facilitating a lot of ceremonies in the past couple of weeks, and in last week once it's like an 11-day experience that I guide people through, and it's very like, I love it. I work with Cacao. She is my teacher, and it's so profound, it's so beautiful, and it's my passion, and it's just my everything, right? So I always also facilitate a integration session afterwards, because the energetic work we do, it's going deep, it's going like, yeah. And then in one of these integration sessions that just happened a couple of days ago, my human was receiving quite some judgments in the way that I was like, yeah, facilitating, like just moving in life, just like showing up, right? And I was there like, oh gosh, okay, I can do this, because you want to hold yourself in the love and in the light, and simultaneously you also need to carry all of it and still hold the full circle and everyone, right? And I navigated it so beautiful. So I was so proud of my human, because like the other person needed a lot of love as well, of course. When there's judgment, it's actually like full a pouring of love, because it's these aspects in ourselves that we then cannot see. So there's so much to so much gold to find in that. But then I started noticing with myself that it did something with me too, of course. And yesterday I had to facilitate a beautiful ceremony again for a full group of new people, and so much not enoughness came up, so much like insecurities came up, like things that I hadn't felt in such a deep way for a long time now, because I was playing and it was beautiful, and then boom, there it was again. And I was like, fuck, okay. So it brought so much doubt up in my own gifts and capabilities and gifts, that what happened during ceremony yesterday evening is that I started to see a pattern that I was holding back now. And in person, I was never holding back, right? And I started to see it, and I started to witness my human in circle, and I was like, shit, it's like there's only one way I can move through this, and I'm gonna share this with the group. I'm gonna share like, okay, I'm feeling like this is happening for me. This is like I'm feeling insecure because of this and this and this. And I could already feel it drop, right? And it was like everyone was like, what are you talking about? But it was a thing for me. And once I said it, it was gone. And I could completely pull back my power. And I was like, no, I am allowed to be. I am allowed to be that uncomfortable mirror at times, because I'm projecting. That's my role as a projector. I'm playing with energy. So I'm showing you things that you do not want to see, but in a loving way, in a playful way. And I was fully back. But it took like being vulnerable also for that group. And it took also navigating yesterday to fully like surrender to what my body was feeling, surrendering that my voice was closing, surrendering that my heart was doing this, whilst I'd done it already so many times. So it's to say that these things keep returning back each time when you also leap, each time when you are a different version of yourself, each time when you expand it. It's like I always say, for each level, there's a new devil. So we will always have these beautiful plays and co-weavings, and then it's coming back to us. Then it's coming back to like, okay, I see this, I witnessed this. So yesterday I went earlier to the venue so that I can move, because I love to do the energetic work with the body. I'm working like with
someone else has projected their own insecurities onto us, and we internally make that about us. Even with the most self-awareness in the world, like Nishanthi said, there's still part of our human that absorbs that, right? And like you said, it is the beautiful work that we get to do, because with that awareness, we get to dive into ourselves and we get to heal those layers and we get to dive deeper. But that doesn't mean that we don't feel that hit, right? That we don't have to navigate that ourselves. And the way that you led yourself through that with that level of vulnerability with a group is so beautiful to witness. And I want you all watching to ask yourself, when anyone has projected onto you before, or judged you, or, you know, word vomited on you for being too much or for being too loud or whatever it is, how have you then internalized it? And how can you transmute that so that next time it doesn't impact quite as deep, that you get to alchemize it and move forwards with it? This is such a beautiful share. Thank you so much for being so vulnerable with us today. I love that. So Nishanthi, please do tell everyone about the magic that you bring into the world, and of course where they can find you. It'll all be in the show notes below, but just for extra.
You can find me best on Instagram. It's Nishanthi Mabunige. And I run different programs during the year. I facilitate in Dutch and English. So I have always one round in Dutch and then another round in English. So right now I'm calling in people for reclamation. That's a 12-week, like beautiful, deep self-healing quest journey where we go deep in all kinds of different themes in life, but really from the present moments into the future, and working with the body as the most advanced technology and with the beautiful feminine energy to lead yourself in your stewardship. And I've got a membership as well, which is each month a 11-day experience where we kind of open a portal and then dive deep. And that's kind of the translation of my life experiences that I've now brought into the membership. So yeah, it's that weaving. And then of course, private mentorships. Yeah, that's also available.
Amazing. So everyone watching, make sure you go and get in Nishanthi's world over on Instagram. All the links will be in the show notes below. And until next time, remember, vulnerability is your superpower. Realness is your strength, and rawness is the thing that empowers all of those watching you lead yourself first. I'll see you all tomorrow for the next Dare to Share. Thank you, Nishanthi.